We've launched a new YouTube channel called Twins TV for those who want to see more of us. Check out our second channel and subscribe. We'll see you there. Welcome back. As you can see, I've been working on the tow bar mounting. We noticed at our last event that it was really nice to tow the Honda instead of driving long distances with the Honda, where you not only get numb, but you also end up inhaling certain exhaust fumes. Look guys, this is the idea. The tow bar is going to be mounted like this. This one still needs to be made, of course, adjusted to the length of the bumper, so it doesn't go through the bumper. I'll saw that off, and what I'm going to do then is take a little nut that fits in there perfectly. I'll weld that in place, like this, and then I can use a little bolt. With the ring spanner, I can screw it in, and then I can tow the Honda. Now, seeing it like this, you're probably wondering how strong this is. Well, I can tell you, it's pretty strong, so I'm going to prove it to you. With my 72 kilos, I could easily stand on it. Of course, these are very different kinds of forces than what it normally has to endure. Normally, it only has to handle a force pulling like this, just a bit of tension. But now, I actually stood on it. That's basically never going to happen, that so much force is put on it. This is of course a much easier way to hook up the Honda later. Instead of mounting a tow bar like that on the control arm, of course we are still going to use the tow bar itself, just with a small modification. You just snap it onto the bushing like this. In under a minute, it's attached and hooked up behind the bushing. So what I made on the left, or actually on the right side of the car, I'm now going to replicate on the left side of the car. Once all that is replicated, we can figure out where the holes go in the bumper, then move on.
Here I'm just making the tow bar bracket. This will be mounted on the car. But before I can do that, I need to remove the headlight bracket, because I'm going to trace it so I have the correct dimensions. Then I'll know exactly where it goes on the car. After I've done that, of course I need to cut out that piece from a piece of metal. That way, I don't use the whole bracket, just the part I actually need. Hey, weight is horsepower, right? So now that I have the measurements, I'll drill a few holes so I can attach this to the car, and after that, I've mounted it. So check.
Just look at how perfectly level this is. This is a laser level that actually centers itself. And check how straight this lines up. As you can see, it's exactly in the middle here. And there too. Here's a brief overview of how this will work. Basically, this will be shortened to match the bumper depth, so we're going to fit that in a moment. The idea is not for this to stick out from the bumper, but for it to stay just behind the bumper, so that nut will be welded in place. And then you'll get a bolt that you actually screw in there. This is attached to the chassis rails of the car, so this isn't going anywhere. Let me know in the comments if you think this is safe. I'm curious about your opinions, so be sure to comment. We're far from done because this grille still needs to go back, the bumper still needs to go on, holes need to be made, and there's still a lot to fabricate, so let's go.
Since we're doing this, I'll also mention we're upgrading the car to 600 horsepower. It's super important that we make this tow bar setup, because soon you really won't be able to drive the car at all. So it's important that the laser is exactly in the center of this bracket, so that later we can mark these spots on the bumper. And for that, these brackets had to come off first, and then the bumper had to be mounted back on, so that we can drill it now.
So we haven't moved the laser from its position, and this way we actually know exactly where we're going to drill a hole now.
Now that we knew where to drill that hole, we went ahead and did it. But of course, by putting that cross right in the center of the drill again, that way I got the right curve for the tube, so you don't get an oval hole. Now that we've done this, we could measure the distance the bracket needed to be behind the bumper, and of course we've already marked this on our bracket. Now the bumper had to come off again so we could mount that bracket on the front left of the car, and then of course use the level to make sure it's perfectly level, so exactly in the middle of that bracket. Now we actually knew that it was positioned correctly and we could put the bumper back on the car, then we could drill that last hole. Now that we knew the bracket lengths, we could finally cut them to size. This is very easy if you clamp it in a vise. We cut off part of the bracket so we could finally weld in the small nut. But not before we grabbed our welding machine from Lidl. We're not professional welders, but hey, anyone can weld, right? And these are our welding skills. I hope it's strong enough, I think so. After that, I just had to make it look good.
I'll put it on here. I also smoothed this out nicely with a grinding disc. I'm going to spray this completely black later so it won't rust.
we'll thoroughly clean them with a Scotch-Brite pad before spraying. With this, you remove all the surface rust, and once that's done, you can spray them. We just sprayed them gold. After that, we sprayed them glossy black since we didn't really like the gold. And check out the result here. We're very pleased with it. Nu was het weer een kwestie van alles demonteren. Nu weer die trekstangbeugels terugmonteren op de auto. En dan waren we eindelijk klaar.
As you were probably just about to ask, we were actually thinking the same thing. We just wanted to try again. Then I thought to myself, hey, can't we also add a few extra braces since we've already set it up anyway? I said kind of jokingly, hey, we could also add a bracket from left to right.
It's convenient for us because when pulling forces come from front to back, they may want to bend together. Now that we know the distance and the battery terminal is disconnected, we can start welding in a moment, but not before we've removed the curve from this pipe, which we'll be welding onto later. Now that we roughly know where it needs to go, we've checked the curve and it's correct. Now I can weld a nut into it because we're going to screw a threaded rod into it. And this way you can also easily determine the width it needs to be. And this threaded rod is about 1 centimeter thick. So this isn't going anywhere once it's welded together. Now I could start welding it together. And once this is done, of course, I still need to spray paint it. Because of course we don't want it to rust. And of course that gives it an even better look. So that's what we're going for. Not just functionality, but the looks have to be okay too, just with the stuff.
With what we still had lying around here, we added a few extra welds for reinforcement. Yeah, it's definitely a lot sturdier this way. It couldn't be any other way.
Now that we've made all the adjustments exactly the way we wanted, I could finally put the front bumper back on once and for all. It doesn't need to come off anymore.
Welcome back, it's a new day here. In the previous episode about the Honda Civic from a while ago, we of course worked on the front brakes. The brake caliper from the CFV, the brake disc from the Mini Cooper, and the brake pads from the Honda Accord. And together it makes a super cool big brake kit, which we also drilled with our drill press. Haven't seen the episode yet? There's a link in the description. Now it's time to tackle the rear brakes. As promised, we of course have drums, and we're going to replace them with discs now. And to be able to do that, of course, we first have to disassemble all of this and see if it's even possible to take apart. Because it's an old car, more than 22 years old if I'm correct. Hopefully it comes off without any broken bolts. And that's what we're about to find out. Of course, we'll take you along with us. Wheels off, control arms off, drums off, parking brake cables out. Nice little job, let's go.
We always like to loosen everything by hand first before we actually use the air tools. And after this, the air tool really has no trouble loosening the nuts anymore. After we removed all the nuts, of course, the wheel comes off. And then, of course, we got to our wheel spacers. As you can see, our Honda has become about 10 centimeters wider on both sides. And that's why we're simply required to drive with wheel spacers. Unless it's a custom-made wheel, of course.
Well, we've sprayed about a liter of WD-40 on it to hopefully get this loose later. Let it soak in for a bit. Keep your fingers crossed because yeah, you know, the usual Honda issues. It's always the little things that break and take forever. I'll grab my tools, then we can move to the other side. Okay, these are 2 bolts that are really stubborn. Music. Gelderland. What creaks doesn't break? Okay, Gelderland. Guys, the well-known bolt to adjust your alignment on the rear of the Honda. So this one has the problem of breaking off. The nut on the inside just breaks off. The moment you break this, you immediately lose the... So, we let WD-40 soak in for exactly 10 seconds, so we've done our prep work well. Gelderland.
Okay.
Gelderland. The Honda gods are with us today, guys. It can't be any other way. But we're not done yet. We still have to make one more of these on the other side. And then it was good, so everything came loose. TV Gelderland, TV Gelderland. Here it comes. Yeah, cool. TV. My young boy is fit. What does he know? Well, not really. Looks just like a giant grinder, if you say so.
TV Gelderland.
TV Gelderland 2021. Guys, after having this car sitting around for about 22 years, it's a good thing we're finally tackling this. Just take a look at how this looks. This really should have been banned. What you're seeing here are the brake disc conversions for our Honda Civic EK. Well, actually they come from a Honda Civic Coupe, which already has standard brake discs. And the great thing about this system is that it fits our Honda EK directly. The rubber is intact and the brake discs look good, but the brake pads are thin. I have new ones for those.
Bought. Since we took it apart ourselves, we naturally knew how to reassemble it, which was great. Here, I'm grabbing a transmission jack to hold the control arm up so I can hand tighten the bolt. I tighten this with an air impact wrench, and then I tighten them by hand to check how tight they are. Of course, I couldn't forget the handbrake cables because they had to be routed back in a special way, and that was very easy. Here you can see how rusty they are. I also secure the brake line. And after I've done this, I spray them because as you can see, there's still quite a bit of surface rust. But after I sprayed them, they looked really good again.
When you think everything is going perfectly, that's when the stand causes problems. In my case, when tightening the bottom bolt, the one that goes through here, it just broke, guys. Really unbelievable. I did tighten it pretty firmly, that's true. But yeah, I just think it's a part of the lower frame. That just needs to be secured properly, and it just breaks. Yet another thing we have to fix. 2 steps back, 1 step forward. That's how you build a car like this.
I considered welding a nut onto the broken bolt, but first I need to disconnect the battery terminal. After that, I can start welding. After I welded a nut onto it, I was able to unscrew it. This is just to show you how it looked. And look, it comes out very easily.
Yes, guys, mission accomplished. I did it. As you saw, I screwed on a nut, then I gave it a quick weld, and then I was able to just unscrew the remaining part. Yes, sometimes this can really be a whole struggle. But in this case, it was tackled in just a few minutes. I'm really happy about that. Now I just need to find the right bolt here in the workshop, then we can assemble the rest.
Of course, we couldn't forget the right side. That also needed to be painted nicely, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Unfortunately, my brake caliper paint had dried up. Take a look here. There's just a screwdriver in there and it's not going anywhere, so I ordered new ones for this. Anyway, we're going to put .5.1 brake fluid in it. This is racing brake fluid. This has a higher boiling point than normal, but don't forget this also needs to be changed more often because it absorbs more moisture.
Yes, guys, it's a new day here, and unfortunately the brake caliper paint still hasn't arrived. So there's only one thing left for us to do. Put the wheel spacers on here and put the wheels on. And besides that, another package has arrived. We'll get to that in a moment, but let's finish this up first, and we'll do the painting another time.
As you can see, we're putting thread locker on the stud ends. Since we're running pretty wide spacers, we don't want to risk them coming loose. For our own safety, we're using thread locker. Hopefully this way, nothing will come loose. They double check the tightness to ensure everything is secure. Once tightened, the wheels are installed. Now it was time to open the package that arrived. We ordered a brand new tie rod for our Honda. As you know, with the previous tie rod system, we always had to use those examples, but with this one, that's no longer necessary. Because of the system we've now installed in the front bumper, it will literally take just 1 minute to mount the tow bar. We did have to modify a bracket that came with this system. As you could see in the footage, this one has 2 mounting points. and we need the middle one. So we had to make some adjustments, and now that we have the brackets off, we sprayed them in glossy black, so they won't rust, and of course they'll look nice. Now that the brackets look nice, they could be mounted on the car, and we had to adjust our new bracket once. That was done in no time.
The tow bar is mounted. This is the tow bar that will just stay with the Honda. We've also adjusted it completely to size. So the only thing we had to do was take out the pins. Take that one out. And then you can take it out, and then you can basically disassemble the tow bar. Super simple. Also, those two mounting brackets attached to the car come off as well. In the end, you won't see anything of the tow bar at all. We've made huge progress on the Honda. We want to do a lot of events this year, maybe next year too, but we're just going to drive the car. And then this is just a really great solution, of course, to move the car from A to B. Really good news? We're going to follow your advice. Of course, we put out a poll to see if you wanted to experience the Honda making 600 horsepower, and you all massively voted yes, so we're going to go through with it. That's what to expect from the Honda going forward. And something else, really great for people who want to see even more of us. We've created a new YouTube channel. It's called Twins Twin STV Vlogs. So if you're curious about how we're going to tow the car with the tow bar, and whether it will hold up, and whether the brakes work properly, visit and subscribe to our second channel. See you there.